but the not just instructional, also the discipline part where we have to do that's part of the job. We're also the student services jobs, like that's also being advocates. I just got out of an ARD that was almost 2 hours because after the hurdle of the SPED paperwork and everything, and maybe about a year, I finally got my 504 student to finally be a special ed student.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So that was a long process.
Yes, and as an administrator, that was one of my most rewarding feelings because I felt like I definitely made a difference, especially for someone who can't hear and needs that hearing aid. And
Wow.
and the parents didn't have they didn't have the means. So I would like to expose you to some of those meetings as well, so you can see how, as teachers, sometimes we only see one thing, where we don't see the array of kids that we have. That way you
Yes,
can see.
I would want to see that and experience that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I know that once I become an administrator, I know I'm going to run into several things like that, and I would want to know how to best handle them.
Absolutely.
And I know that you would be an amazing mentor to help me out and guide me correctly.
And also records, that's part of the job too.
Yes.
As usual. And of course, it depends on the campus. Sometimes you're everything, and sometimes you're one thing. But I would like for you to be exposed to several realms of the administrative life, so you are going out there with some kind of experience to collect and use when you're coming, because every day is a different challenge, but you always use your experience too.
I always hear that the most challenging aspect of being an admin is, of course, organizing, but then testing. So,
Which I'm also a testing coordinator. I'm the AP testing coordinator as well. And last year I did do the testing del pass.
So I feel that it might be one of the areas where I want to say I'm most afraid of, but
no,
at the same time,
it's pretty straightforward.
I'm excited to find out what it is, what it's like to help out in the testing world, organizing and administrating the testing environment.
And like I say jokingly, if you can be a test administrator, you can basically do anything. That's like the rite of passage. You have to go through there, and you have to, because there's so much at stake with those exams, scores,
Yes.
Ratings, accountability for everyone there. And if that one person in charge doesn't execute it correctly, for whatever reason, there's lots of things that can be jeopardized, especially kids' graduations.
Yes.
Being a kid was missed off the list. So absolutely, don't worry. Yeah, but we'll definitely hit that.
All those things, whatever you are able to have me be exposed to,
absolutely,
they're going to be logged in, part of a logging hour, a matrix system. And I will be explaining each one and part of the components, the NLCC, the National, I forget the term, but also the Texas. How does it relate to the principal?
Absolutely, the standards.
The standards. So that's going to be included. So students must submit the logs every week at the end of the week and turn it into the professor. So students will keep a list of notes and communication and coaching provided by the UTRGV supervisor and complete the coaching and communication form on a monthly basis. So the form was provided for me, and so far, because it is such a fast pace, I mean, it's just constant. Every week there's something to turn in. So anything that I'm provided or assisted with, I have to log it in. So that might be one. But I'm looking forward. I know we have about 4 to 5 weeks left. And
before the testing.
Before the testing and everything happens, or actually before I'm done, since it's like a 7-8 week course.
Oh.
And so hopefully everything gets done.
It will get done.
So students shall complete with the campus mentor on a weekly basis for coaching, advisement, and support to complete course expectations. Students must hold 3 conferences with mentor to review progress on the logs, observations, and field activities aligned with the principal.
And that's a mentor here or a mentor over there?
With mentor with you. So
Okay.
what I'm willing to do is, after each observation, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna write down, and we're gonna provide feedback. You're gonna provide feedback with me, and I'm gonna try to type it out and send it to the professor as evidence that we were able to complete this.
Yeah, absolutely.
The next thing is a practicum forms packet for student use. Provide an addendum of the syllabus and explaining the orientation sessions, such as required for TA and department, and compliance for the principal certification. So this part I already somewhat submitted because of the time frame. I already submitted a core of the activities. The first one, which is going to be this one of you and I sitting together, and I'm explaining the process to you of what was going on. The second one is going to be any field activity that the principal must provide based on the action plan on that we have created and part of the campus improvement plan. So anything based from there, how we can improve it and tackle it, is going to be added in there, or any professional development I provide. Secondly, I would like for to record any field activity, whether it be part of walkthroughs where we're recording teachers and students interacting, anything that dealing with the components, again, back to the action plan, because there has to be an overall goal of how do we improve in that particular area. And I would really love to showcase what we're doing here, because I think it's an excellent way, because quite honestly, after we had gone to TAVE, which is the state conference, Texas Association of Bilingual Educators, we're light years away in regards to preparing, how we prepare our students and the professional development we provide here. So I would really like to showcase and highlight what we're doing here as part of the action plan, and tell the professor, hey, this is how they're preparing me.
Absolutely.
So the next thing is students will create and upload an electronic file, TK20, of the university required documents for accreditation and status audits to include results of student assessment instruments and TA compliance records for principal certification. This one, I'm about to take the exam. I still haven't signed up for it, but I'm still preparing for it. Once that's done, I know because they had to give, I'm not sure, I guess they needed to have, I don't know, the remaining, have students cleared, and I unfortunately fell under that part. So hopefully they can.
And that's okay, because the TK20 process is quite lengthy.
Okay.
You have to collect your service record, your official transcripts with the the date stamped. It's quite an amount of things you need to conduct. I did it for the superintendency, so it's quite those artifacts that are concrete that need to be submitted and reviewed by them. It's no easy task.
So maybe you can help me with that too.
Yeah,
because
yes.
It's one of those hurdles that is still new to me.
Yeah, definitely, no problem with that.
So again, the course learning objectives is students will complete the practicum